Hello everyone, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the Centurion Battle Armor Detonator by Kenner. And I was a huge fan of the Centurions when they came out in the 80s. They're still, to this day, one of my favorite toy lines because of their interchangeable abilities with each figure and what have you. So it's great when I actually get a hold of one of these and get to add it to my collection. So I'm really excited to do this review on this just because, for one, Jake was always my favorite member of the Centurions, and he just had some of the really coolest body armor suits. So with that being said, first off, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. You people are much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed, if you did like this video, please subscribe and also check out my Centurion playlist. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. Alright, so first we're going to start looking at all the parts of this power armor. So a lot of these Centurion things, the hardest thing is to get any of these things complete. Because they had a lot of small parts and stuff like that. So first off, you have your front cannon here. Alright, it has these two little yellow pieces that just hook onto the barrels like this. Alright. Usually they're pretty hard to find. They get lost pretty easily. The same with this piece here. This is like, I guess, a communication view screen piece. Alright. So with this, the cannons move, which is really nice. Alright. Next, you got the back piece here. These pegs hook into the back of the figure. You got these little clips, so if you want to display it without the figure, if you look at this one here, these things here will just fit right into those holes, and then you can display it that way. Alright, you have this little button here that will control the top cannon and the main gun when the figure's set into them. Alright, you got two missile parts here. Alright, so this is a launcher. It works by this little spinny here. Now, one of the hard things with some of these older toys is getting a toy that the springs still work in it. So this is one of the missiles. All right. That clicks in there like that. We're going to turn away from the camera. This way, I guess. And then you just spin it. And it fires. So like I said, getting those with good springs in it is hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to do that, life is good, and it just loads back in. And once again, you got two of them, so you have this one as well. Locks in there. All right. Now, you do have the option here to where I think you can actually use that to do it. No, I guess not. Because sometimes with some of these extra spinny parts, it'll allow you to control it another way. All right. Next, you got the top cannon. Now, mine is a little bit bent due to play and stuff, but I'm sure if you could work it, you could probably get that to bend back in place. Maybe even if you use a slight bit of heat just to soften it up and bend it back into place, you could probably do that. Here's another part that's hard to find, and that's the radar. All the small parts are usually the harder parts to find because of their size. Okay. And you got the two legs. So you got this one here. And you got your second leg here. And then you have the support straps. All right. Now we'll get good old Jake here, Mr. Rockwell himself. All right, and we're going to hook all this stuff onto him. Now, first, we're going to start with the standard setup. So you take this backpack piece here, get his arms up, lock that on there. All right, hear that click, it's on. Get the main piece here. All right, let's move his arm out of the way a little bit more. Locks in like that. All right, so everything's locked on there. You can get these two missile pods. Do let's do them this way. So put one here on this side. Get this missile pod. That could go on that side. So now you got the two missile pods. Put this up here with your little radar. Right. This little piece could go here. And now you got the legs. All right, so you could put these two pegs in the lower part of his leg, these two in the upper part. Leg. Clicks on like that. Same with this one here. Just like that. And now hold stand. Now you got your supports. So these ones go into the bottom, and then this goes into the body. All right, now you have two options. So you could do it in this top one or in here, or you could even swap it around. All right, so that pops in there really nice. That goes up there. Same with this side. Little slide into here, just like this. And then that goes on. So now you have your main configuration. So what you could do is you could take this button here, hit the button. So as you can see, cannons work, and even the top one rotates. So that's really cool. That's a neat effect. Because if I remember, I think these were ice cannons or whatever. So everything moves pretty well. No issues with that. Now, once again, like I said earlier, this is the standard setup. It's not mandatory. And that's the coolest thing about these toys is you could swap this stuff out however you want to. That's why it has all these extra holes. So if you want to take this off, maybe put it here instead. Whoops. Boom. Like so. So maybe you might want that down there. You can. Now, one thing you want to note about some of these things, and some of these joints sit loose because after years of being pushed in, pulled out, pushed in, they may sit a little loose. So this one sits a little loose on here. It still locks in, but it pops out occasionally. So that's just unfortunately something with, years of wear and tear. But now back to what I was originally saying. Like I said, you can swap things around however you want it. Let's say you don't want that cannon there. Maybe you might want it on the legs. Oh, maybe not this one. Might have to swap it around. Even have it facing backwards. All right, like that. So maybe you might want rear-facing missiles. You could do all sorts of cool things with this. The same with this cannon. Maybe you don't want that there. Maybe you want it here. Maybe you want this radar to sit on a shoulder. Move that arm down. Pop that in there like that. You could do all these crazy configurations, and that's what makes these toys fun. Or you can even get some of the stuff from some of his other things. So maybe you want this cannon on here. Like that. You could do that as well. You could get this radar. Hook it on there somewhere. You got this cannon here. Maybe you want it popped off of the side. Like that. So you could just move this stuff around in so many different configurations and what have you. You don't need to stick with the standard. And that was always the big joy about these toys, is that you could just swap this stuff around. And they're pretty darn hardy too. So that's how everything works with Detonator. All right, so my final thoughts on the Detonator is this thing is awesome. I love this. And I feel like this is a must-have piece for your Centurion collection. Just the overall profile to it is just wicked and pretty cool. Everything locks together and fits very well, especially with the figure. I don't have any issues with that. I do like the play feature of the button here that operates both the front freeze cannons and this top cannon, and also the play feature of the 2 rockets on the side with just a turn of the knob can go firing. So overall, I think this is a really cool set, and you definitely should be getting this for your Centurions. So with that being said, I hope you all did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my Centurion playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.